to order at 3:02. Stand for the invocation. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day to come and do the work of the Cherokee people. We pray that you will be with us as we commence this meeting. Let us be mindful of the responsibility that we have as elected leaders. We pray that you will be with our servicemen, protecting our freedom, both here and abroad. Keep them safe in their duties. What's in your name we pray. Amen.
Jody.
Shelley, would you do a roll call for us?
Yes, ma'am. Jody Fishinghop.
Here.
Janice Taylor.
Here.
Jack Baker. Harley Buzzard.
Here.
Joe Bird.
Honey.
Julia Coates.
Here.
Janelle Fulbright.
Present.
Dawn Garvin. Frankie Hargis.
Present.
Hannah Glory Jordan. Here. Lee Keener.
Honey.
Dick Lay.
Here.
Curtis Snell.
Here.
David Thornton.
Honey.
Victoria Vesquez.
Honey.
David Walking-Stick. Kara Callan Watts.
Honey.
We do have a quorum. Thank you, Shelley.
You have the minutes of the last ENF meeting as well as the PAC subcommittee meeting in your packets.
I'll make a motion to approve the March 27th regular session meetings and March 27th act subcommittee meeting.
Sir.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Chair, I would like to amend the agenda. I'd like to add a new business item number 2. It's been passed out called capital bond number 5, and it's an act amending Legislative Act 22-13, and it's a comprehensive capital budget for the fiscal year. It's mod 5, and I'd like to make it number 2 on new business. I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and second to amend the agenda to add capital modification number 5. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, so we will amend that and move it to the end of our meeting, or item number 2, I'm sorry. Okay, let's move into the reports. We have Lacey Horn here to give our financial report.
Council. Hello. Gave you all my good news last week, and you will have my report, so I'll be happy to take any questions that you have.
Counselor Fishinghant.
Yeah, I'd like to comment on the 86% of the Terrell business going to Terrell vendors.
Yes,
I'm glad to see that.
you are too.
Counselor Vasquez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Lacey, I have a question about the donations for the Veterans Center. Are we still accepting those, or is it over?
Yes, we are. If you have someone that's interested in donating
Actually, it's me.
memorabilia, Gina Olaya is the point of
Okay.
contact for that.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Are there any other questions of our treasurer? If not, got off easy.
Thank you.
Next is Sean Slayton with CNB.
Good afternoon, council.
Good afternoon.
Be reporting on February financially. We ended up the month at $11,419,000. That was $1.5 million short of what we had budgeted. February again was the third month in a row where we lost the first weekend to snow and ice, and that ended up happening in March as well. So it's quite an anomaly to have the first weekend of 4 months in a row where you pretty much lose the first weekend to weather. Year to date, we're still $1.2 million to the good on what we had budgeted. Things look good in March. We had good results across the board, and things are looking up for our businesses on the diversified business side. We're back on track, and we feel like on our reforecast today, or the end of the year that we'll be back on our budget, having made up a lot of the ground that we lost there early in the year when the government shut down. So things are looking good there. Our projects that we have underway are the clinics are all out of the ground at various stages depending on the location and a few weather issues there. But other than that, we're pressing forward with that. The hospital is in final design stage, and we're looking forward to everybody getting on board with what we've decided there. The project at Roland will come out of the ground in May, and they're in the preliminary stages of getting out the site work bid packages and getting that off the ground in Roland as well. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to try to answer those.
All right. No questions of Mr. Slayton? Okay.
Thank you
for
very
being
much.
here. Let's move on to Career Services. Ms. Diane Kelly.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As Bill Foster used to say, April has had many opportunities for the month for career services. They've been some doozies. Summer youth employment deadline was last Thursday, April 17th, and you all have asked about the applications. We had close to 600 applications, and they're still being worked on. I would like to report that we had 80-plus applications come in from Veneta, which is a first, because we've, up there we usually get 20, 15, some years it's been 9. So I applaud them. Also, Muskogee came in with 70-plus applications, and we never get that many over in Muskogee. So apparently word's gotten out, the counselors are doing a real good job. The area that we're lagging behind is in Tahlequah, because we got a whole lot more applications here, because it's the main area. That's the ones that are staying late to get the applications processed. We had a lot of people that called in that said, my kid won't turn 16 until June. Can you still take the application? If we were hurting for numbers, we'd made some successions, but we can't. So therefore, we have to wait. They'll have to wait until next year. One of the things that's going to come before you is that you approved $800,000 in carryover for us in the council meeting Monday night. We are carving out some of that day work money that was approved, and we're going to reallocate that to summer youth to take care of this overwhelming group of people that have come in. We're not asking for any more money, we're just modifying our budget, and I think it's in some of the stuff that Lacey presented to you today. So I just wanted you to be aware of it. We had over 200 show up for a job fair last week in Catoosa. 60 plus were hired. That was internally. And we have other jobs that we know that their people are still in the pipeline. We have another job fair coming up in West Salem Springs, May the 13th. Dixie Weathers and that team, they've done an outstanding job. Bob Thomas and Vivian have been working with us. And of course, we had like 12 other businesses there as well. 9 people graduated last Thursday night in Muskogee for our 4th culinary specialized training class, and those people are on their way for practicum at C&B, and we'll be doing another class up in Pryor probably in the next couple of weeks, and then we will also be doing one down in Salisaw probably later in the fall. We have one coming up, a construction fair that will come up probably in the Salisaw area. Janelle and David, we were contacted by W.C. Gernot, and also I followed up with followed up with C&B, and after the groundbreaking, then they're going to want the construction fair for the vendors for that area. So we'll be doing that probably down at Votech or at Carl Albert, wherever we can actually secure some space. Talked to Cheryl. In about 10 weeks, they're going to ask us to work on a construction fair for the hospital. So that'll be sometime in July, working with Cheryl and WC on that. Macy's groundbreaking was a success. For those of you that were there, thank you all for coming out. They contacted us on Tuesday, and they're wanting us to work with them on a vendor fair. So we don't know exactly when that's gonna happen. We were contacted by REC. Gwen Shop Pouch was contacted by REC up in Veneta. They're looking for 20 to 40 jobs that would pay about $30 to $35 an hour. We're gonna be meeting with them here in the next week or two. And had another business that came in today, so we're really busy. If we're not getting to you, let us know, and we'll do our best to try to get back with you, because all my counselors are hooked up with summer youth and day training. Tom Duncan at C&B met with us, had one of his workers meet with us over at the, what was the old Labanal building where CNI is at in Pryor. We're gonna be moving our office from Cherokee Heights to the building there in the industrial park. They gave us a suite there, so we'll be moving there hopefully within the next month or two. And I want to thank Janice and Brent, because this was Brent's idea about 2-3 years ago, and so it's coming to fruition. We appreciate that. Tom's also looking for space for us in the interchange building there in Tulsa off of 169, so that we have staff there that can start networking with the temp services and workforce there for the Macy's project, as well as some of the OJT sites that we're working with up in that area. We hope that that will be done by June 1 as well. We celebrated Disability Month this month that you all are aware of. We also celebrated Administrative Professionals Day yesterday and had all of our students there. Janice Taylor was our keynote speaker, and we recognized Nason Morton. And I just wanted to share this with you. For about 4 or 5 years, we've been trying to get personnel to recognize our day training, when we first started day training, and our work experience for those people who qualified, who met the quals to be put on the first round panel for in-house. And Nason, Lacey, Chuck Jr. got together and we all talked about it, and Nason said he thought he could make it happen. Here in the last 3 weeks, Nason's reported the number of people that have been hired. About half those people the last 2 or 3 weeks have been day training people. So I just want to tell you it's working, and we appreciate the efforts that they're making to work with our clients, especially the people that meet the quals. Kim Carroll is in training this week. She's at a second chance reentry proposal writing workshop. Hopefully she's got her foot in the door so that she can come back and write some second chance reentry grants. We're going after a second chance reentry grant through the Department of Justice when she gets back, and there's others that are in the pipeline that we'll be bringing before you all here in the weeks to come. And then our youth bill grant went in on Monday, and then we've got a Ready to Work partnership grant that we're going to go after through the Department of Labor. They're going to accept 20 to 30 grants, and the amount of money is $3 million to $10 million. And we're going to go after that because that's jobs for our people, and that's basically what career service is all about. I want to thank David Walkingstick. He spoke to my counselors a couple of weeks ago. We had a meeting to kind of give them a shot in the arm for all the stuff that we've got coming down the pipe so they don't get discouraged, because there's really no downtime with all the stuff that we've got going on. And I just want to commend him. He did an outstanding job of giving them that shot in the arm. Very complimentary. That's all I have, unless you have some questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Up next, Anna Knight.
I want to thank those of you who are able to make it to our open house today. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be sending you little surveys to get some feedback from you. But I did want to bring some menus to you, so you can always call and place an order, or you can go down there at any time and purchase lunch or breakfast. I also wanted to let you know that we'll be having a ribbon cutting for the public at the Kawi Cafe on May 15th at 1 o'clock. If you're able to attend, we'd love for you to. And I did want to advise you as well that there's been some changes with the HUD 184 programs and our mortgage assistance. I know this isn't the Community Services Committee, but it's something that we're working on. We may have to go to filing a mortgage and a deed restriction, the deed restriction for the closing costs. HUD 184 loans are no longer able to have mortgages that total more than 100% of the value of the home. And so that's something that we're working through right now, but there are some lenders that are holding up some of our MAP closings, waiting for us to change that. So we're working with the AG's office to get that done. You should have a copy of my report. I hope you do this month. And you notice I've changed, I'm changing it up a little bit, trying to give you guys more information. I'm trying to follow Diane's suit. But I like to put my information on paper instead of talk about it. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Counselor Snell, did you have a question for her?
Oh, I was just asking, what time does the cafe open?
It opens at 7:30 and it closes at 3. And they're open on Saturdays as well.
Counselor Jordan?
Yes, and I just wanted to thank you on behalf of the entire council for inviting us today.
We're really
I can
interested.
certainly recommend the Turkey Club.
Okay, good.
Thank you very much. And the
Thank you.
The smoothies were very, very good.
Good, good.
Counselor Cowden Watts?
Thank you. I noticed in your report we're having traditional games in Legal, but I hadn't seen anything else on it. Will there be a news release?
There
Will we be
sh-
notified?
There should be news releases and flyers going out, and I will follow up with Lou on that.
Thank you. Jeff Lou just send us more details even if the news
Sure.
release is not ready.
Sure.
Counselor Walking Stick?
Anna, I think I need convinced one more day of a free sample.
I think you had enough.
They were giving me to-go boxes to get out of there.
Yeah, we were aware of that.
Counselor Vasquez?
All right, thank you.
No, it's okay.
How do you follow that, right? Okay, and Chief Berg?
Just want to commend you and your staff, whoever wrote that grant. That's really a good opportunity. The startup business is not necessarily to create an enormous amount of revenue, but as long as we create jobs, I mean, that's a good purpose. I would like for you to look into maybe housing one of those here within the complex. That'd be a built-in customer base there, if it was possible and feasible.
Sure.
Thank you for a good job. Yeah.
Thank you.
Counselor Keener?
Madam Chair, I did notice your new colorful and vibrant, exciting new report. I have some extras of these.
Okay.
But you might explain to everyone how you're going to rotate the workers at the cafe?
Sure, sure. They are the workers that you saw there today, except for Cheryl Williams, who is our staff. We're partnering with Career Services, and they're helping us recruit people that are eligible through the day training program, and then our grant is paying their stipend to work 40 hours a week, and they're in a 4-month training period. Not only are they learning hands-on how to operate the business, but they're all, at the same time they're working on a business plan. At the end of 4 months, those people will start rotating out. Actually, before 4 months, we'll start bringing some on so that we constantly have people in the training mode. But we'll replace them with a whole nother set of people. So we do 6 at a time, and we'll switch them out every 4 months to, at the end of the grant period, we will have trained 54.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Anybody else have any comments? Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
And thank you for lunch.
Thank you.
Let's move on to consent items. Start with tarot certifications.
Oh, yeah, let's just go.
Do we need the motion to approve? Motion to approve?
Tarot certification. I have a motion and a second to approve the tarot certifications. All those in favor? Any opposition? Okay. Let's move on to the cemetery restoration. I think they gave us an updated list. Do you want to speak to that, Jody?
Yes, there is an updated list. The last one on it is Fillmore Cemetery. However, there was one addition that came in via fax just as we were handing out the list. It is for Lowry Cemetery, Gina Griffith. District 2, Councilor Bird's district.
Baker?
Oh, yes.
Yes, Miller and Dry Creek need to be added to that list. They had talked to me and they're getting their paperwork to you.
Are there any other additions or questions about this list? Motion to approve.
Make a motion to be approved?
Thank you, Mr. Keener. May I have a second? Okay. Anybody, all those opposed? All those in favor, excuse me?
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, let's move to the community assistance.
There was a list handed out, and I have one addition on Westfield Public Schools, Counselor Hargis, 500. Also, Counselor Fishing Hawk is doing 500 on that.
Get that list?
I just gave it to, if you're talking about the one that just got passed this way, I gave it to Jody because I thought that's where it needed to go.
I don't think Jody came down this way.
Yeah, pass it down this way.
It was,
Well, Jody's explaining we're passing one that's a group, a request for all the group to consider. And I'm just asking if somebody, anybody wants to, and I think we've got that.
No, this is a different one.
Okay, while we're passing that list, Counselor Vasquez, did you need to?
Yes, I just would like to, thank you, would ask approval or to add to this list, $750 from my community assistant for Bonita Indian Territory Coalition. It's for special Olympics events in Bonita.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, did anybody else have any additions that they needed? Yes, Counselor Keener?
Was there also some for hog fry at the?
Yes, there are some council members, the last meeting that already pledged some, and so I got, they needed $1,500, and there were like 6 or 7 that pledged. And here's the list, we're lacking $100. Councilor Keener, myself, Thornton, Janice, Victoria, David, Walking Stick, Dick, Jack, Curtis, Harley, Janelle, Tina, Jody, and Frankie. We're lacking $100.
We all lack religion, or we did?
We lack 100. They need 1,500.
us
There's
donate.
1,400 here.
How many is on there?
14,
We've got 14 on there now?
yeah,
And somebody needs to add one more 100.
yes. Counselor Coates, you want to add 100 to the Heritage Center? Okay, going once, twice. We'll just take it out of walking sticks.
Would the
Sorry, I can't get my mute off and my phone on and everything quick enough. What, I'm sorry, again, this is for the Heritage Center?
Yeah, it's their annual gospel singing and hog fry. They were needing 1,500. We have 1,400 pledged now from 14 council members.
Okay, sure.
Okay, all right, thank you, Counselor Coates.
Did you get that, Jody?
She's on there. She's on there.
Is Joe Bird on there? Hey, Tiny, is Joe Bird on there?
Okay,
Do what?
I'll take that.
I don't care, well, let's give it to Jody and let him read all of them.
love it. Chief Bird. Chief Bird.
Yes.
Curtis is in the negative.
Yes.
Curtis, do you need?
Don't say that.
Okay, you be okay? Okay.
Put you back up too.
Denise changed mine to 100.
No, he's 100.
It's a 500, that's what I did.
All right.
No, I changed it. Oh, yes, Counselor Lake?
I'm sorry, I was reading this here. I need for Noeda Cherokee Foundation.
Okay.
1,500.
Noita Cherokee Foundation, 1,500.
Yes.
Jody?
I heard someone mention about Counselor Snell being in the negative. I know Gail is working up the carryover, and she said he's gonna have well above that. She knows, already has his worked up. We just haven't added everybody on there until she gets everybody worked up, so.
We'll have $3 instead of 2.
And Jody, I need Washington County, Cherokee, it's 1,500.
Washington County.
Okay, with the additions that we have made, I need a motion to approve this list.
So moved.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Take care of me.
Jody, could I request that you send us an updated list with these additions, these counting?
Okay. We also have the Sequoia High School Activity Fund. I'm showing 13 on, so it'd be 1,300 on that also.
Okay, so that will be added. Okay, do I hear a motion to approve the list?
Second.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposition? Okay. Motion carries. So now we'll move on to law enforcement.
There was a list handed out. The last one on it is Shoto Police Department for 1,500. Is there any additions?
Yes, I have an addition.
Okay.
Counselor Byrd, Counselor Walkenstick, and myself want to put our money together and from that fund, 33,000 would go to Cherokee County Sheriff's Office. 12,526.88 would go to the Hobart Police Department, and 12,526. This can't be right, 88. There's a penny, we're a penny off. Let's give 12,526.87 to Hobart Police Department and 12,526.88 to Tahlequah Police Department. And that should deplete our law enforcement for the year.
Are there any other additions to that list? Okay. Yes,
Motion to
Councilor.
approve?
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, motion made in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Moving on to roads.
We'll go off the list that's in the book, but there is, we have only one item on there this time, Salisaw Creek Park Drainage Project, Counselor Thornton. I believe he was gonna, you still wanna change that to 6,000 instead of 3,000? Like everything else, costs more to do when you get into it.
Okay, are there any other changes to the roads funding? Okay. May I have a motion to?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay. Move on to the sports team funding.
There is a new list that was handed out. The last one on it is Lady Indians.
I have a comment, Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Jody, how is this working out with our sports team? We've been doing this for a while now, or are we getting get out to the communities in the appropriate way? Are we having any problems? Are they satisfied with the way the turnaround is once we approve it? Are they getting their checks in a
Yeah,
timely manner?
I mean, with this new process, basically, we're coming through and we're getting them out faster without having to wait for each committee meeting, so.
Okay. All right, so we're good so far?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Is there any other comment or discussion on this? Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I got a motion by Counselor Byrd and second by Counselor Hargis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, that concludes the consent items.
Just one note on the livestock, I know she does have some applications in, but we don't have any
That's for what?
for the
Oh, the livestock,
premium.
okay. All right.
Have some applications in, but nothing to report right now, so.
Counselor Jordan?
Now, on the livestock, Jody, is it correct, we can go ahead and process those?
Yes, yeah.
I expected, has the one from Muskogee come in yet?
Probably so. She had mentioned earlier that she had a couple, but hasn't been able to verify them and to get them processed yet.
This will be the first year we'll have one coming from the district show, so I was kind of watching to see what that does to our account. I went to that show, but I could not even guess. It's 5 of our, maybe 6 of our counties, so I don't know exactly what that will do to our fund. But we do have other monies if we needed to get through the end of the year.
Yeah,
we
we'll
could move
figure it
some-
out if we
could move
have
some
any issues.
from one to another. We should be fine.
Okay. Down to
I don't
business.
see any old business, so we'll move on into the new business. Counselor Fishing Hawk, would you handle those for us, please?
Yes. This act is authorizing, first off, okay. I'd like to substitute one that's handed out in front of you. It's mod 8A for the one that's in the book. There was a couple of changes. And I move for its approval.
Second.
And,
Would you
Jody-
cover those changes real quick?
Yeah, Jody will go over it.
Okay. That was emailed out, and I believe there's also hard copies for you there. You can look at my memo. Item 1 was added after the original mailing, as well as item 2, and that was what Diane was talking about earlier, that we're moving $275,500 out of the day training program over to the summer youth program. Item 3, Cherokee Publications. It's modification requesting an increase in the expenditure authorization of $935 from carryover donations that were received in fiscal year 2013 in AU 10-11-071 Cherokee Nation Publication sub-donations, and it's shown in item 4. Item 4 is that Cherokee Nation Publications donations account. There was $1,700 carried over, and that is split 55% to the General Fund AU and 45% to the IDC AU. Item 5, Tribal Leases Realty, 10-12-90 General Funds, a new budget requesting expenditure authorization of $153,000 from a sign-on bonus for minerals on the Winslow Estate located in Stevens County, and a John K. Ford Estate minerals check. The expenditures are for necessary repairs and maintenance of these properties, as well as other operational expenses on those. Item 6 is the Cherokee Publications IDC accounting unit that's receiving 45% of those carryover donations. Item 7, Health IT Systems, 332-9020, IHS Self-Governance Health. It's a modification requesting an increase in expenditure authorization of $7,100,000. New budget total is now $13,600,000 for execution and year 1 expenses of the Cerner system.
Is there, Are there any questions or discussions on this? Yes, Counselor Con Watts?
Thank you. Do we know on the Cherokee Phoenix Elder subscriptions, like a projection? Or are we just gonna wait until budget hearings? Like, do we understand what the need is on elder subscriptions?
I'm not aware of I think there's just the donations coming in, and I'm sure they'll be presenting that in their budget. But, I'm not aware of the actual projection.
Could you make sure that that's requested? Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the Cherokee Day training, and Diane's still here, maybe she want to address this, but what impact will it have on the day training, transferring that money? Oh. Diane, I was asking on the transfer of funds for the day training, what impact will it have?
Well, it will be less money for us to operate on, and we'll have to be real frugal between the middle of May and September the 30th on the day training program. Right now, we've got 2 pots of money for day training, which is the tribal and also the C&B referrals that we are continuing to make. That's why we're doing specialized training. And the people that come in that will work in those food service jobs or any of the other jobs they have, we're trying to get them on the transit system so they can go back and forth to Siloam, to Sallisaw, Tucson. And it will impact it to some extent, but I can't tell you how much of an impact it's going to be because we don't know how many people will actually come in between May and September the 30th.
There's a possibility that some day workers will be turned away, or C&B will.
It's a possibility that there may be. We'll have to go through there and see how many people, if some of these people have been rotating through on an annual basis, then they wouldn't be given first consideration for somebody who actually hasn't come in for services. We'll also be looking at whether or not some of these people can meet the thresholds for some of these jobs that we're actually putting them in so that they can actually be hired. So we'll be looking at those factors.
Thank you. Couple more questions.
Is there any other discussion on that?
I said I have a couple more questions.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought you said you had no more questions.
On the 1,700 on number 4, for the elder subscription for the Phoenix, was that out of the pot of money where each council person gave 100 for the elder
That would have been
subscription?
part of the same pot of money, yes. I mean,
There was
that
more
was the
than.
pot that the council put into, as well as any other donations that would have came in, so.
Okay, so if you just take what each council person gave for the elder subscription, 55% will go to item 1, and 45
Right.
go to 6, so.
Basically, that publications is split into those 2 accounting units, because 45% is allowed as indirect cost, and the other 55% has to be funded by the general fund.
But 100% will go into elder subscription?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. And then I was unclear on number 5, on the sign-on bonus for minerals. Mind clarifying that for me, please?
Yes, we have 2 estates that we have outside the 14 county area, Winslow Estate and the Ford Estate. And that was just something that won't happen next year. It won't happen for another 5 years. But that was the sign-on bonus for the Mineral Act on that particular tract of property.
And that 153K comes out of the general fund?
It's already been deposited into a liability account. It's already received and it's waiting there for this month. We have received that.
Thank you. That was my next question. It had been released before it had been approved. So that's good it's not.
Yes, correct.
Thank you, Ginger. And I think I just have one more question on the health IT system. We're going to pay $7.1 million for the new Cerner system. And
Now, that's raising the whole budget for this year up to $13,600,000. And then there's actually payments beyond this year too. So.
Right. And it's going to be about $27 million for the IT system?
I can't remember off the top of my head. Total of the Cerner system
Well, I asked last time, and I was told we
Yeah,
couldn't.
we can, problem is contract is confidentiality provisions, we're not supposed to speak about it, total numbers, any of that stuff, we can talk about it privately, but trying to discuss the total amount
But it's going to be a substantial amount of money. We can't say that.
over time.
Over time.
Yes, over a period.
So at each step, it'll be approved by the council.
Yes, through the budgeting process. Yes.
Right.
The agreement did contain the funding available.
Okay. Because I don't think all the council, including myself, maybe we didn't understand the total cost over a period of time. I maybe told the initial cost. So that is a substantial amount of money for an IT system. But I think that it will be good. It's not a bad thing.
Just
It
a point of order. I believe we were not, that was one of the things that we were asked not to talk about on streaming video. We were to go offline and to visit with the AG's office and Connie Davis's office.
We would be happy to discuss it privately. The problem is that provision. There's things in there. If there was someone else negotiating a contract with the same vendor, they would then know what we are paying for it. Confidential information, so that's the problem. It's
Okay.
not that we don't want to talk about it, it's just that we've got to do it privately so that that's not. That's why we said that we try to negotiate something.
If we went to executive session, maybe when we get ready to talk about it again, we can do that.
Yes, Councilor
Yes.
Jordan?
Well, that's not an item that we can go in executive session for. That's proprietary information. That is one of the things that we ask each council member, if they had questions, to go talk to the AG's office, talk to Connie Davis's office. They do have a contract. It has a confidentiality agreement. I would ask each one of us to consider taking our questions to them directly. They're not trying to hide any information from you. It's just that they agreed not to talk about it online in order to get a really good agreement. So I would ask that this portion of the discussion needs to cease, and Mr. Keener, you need to take those questions to, offline, to the Attorney General and to Ms. Davis.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Is that all you need? Okay, Councilor Gloria Jordan, did you have some questions prior to this?
I did, but it didn't have anything to do with that. It was Diane Kelly. I just wanted to, on the summer youth program, what's the approximate cost on each one of the children?
I think it runs, it's $1,000 and something dollars, I don't have the exact amount, because they go for 6 weeks. And one of the things that happens is a lot of the students are either going to band camp, church camp, so there's usually about a week in there that they don't work. So sometimes it's 4 weeks, sometimes it's 5 weeks.
But we allocate.
Yeah, we allocate that amount.
About 1,000.
Yeah, and one of the things that we're planning to do is if we don't use up all the summer youth, we have to look at the numbers. We've got more 16 and 17-year-olds coming in, and we had close to 600 applications. If some of them get other jobs, or if they don't fulfill the 6 weeks, then at the end of the summer program, which will be in July, we're gonna come back and ask you to reallocate that money that's left over and put it back in our day training money.
It is the 275,000, that would, 275,500, that would do about 275 kids. What was the other amount of money that you already had budgeted for that area?
I don't know, I didn't know you would ask.
Well, I can't believe Diane Kelly doesn't
Well,
answer to a
it's just-
question.
my budget person's not here, and
But-
I don't have that information.
I'm just.
Yes, the total, that'll bring the total up for the participants, $794,269.
Okay, and we had about 600 applications? Okay, so the point I'm trying to get to is, did you need more money, or will we be able to cover most of those kids?
We'll cover it.
Okay, that was the point I was getting to.
We'll
I was
make
just,
sure that we
I was just
cover it.
kidding you about the answer to the question. I know you've got it there, I just caught you off guard, and I apologize for that.
There are 18, 19, and 21-year-olds that come in, and sometimes they would prefer to be on day training as opposed to summer youth. And if we have the job sites in those areas where we have those students that come in at that age group, we're gonna put them on day training.
Okay. But for right now, we think or summer youth, we probably have enough money in the account with this to fund the students that
Yes,
we
we
have.
do,
applied.
because what we did is our deadline was last Thursday. Now, if you call me and say, little Johnny didn't get in there, he didn't meet the deadline date, I'm sorry. We've been taking applications, we'll put him on a waiting list, and if we see that, say, maybe 4 or 5 people quit, and some of them get jobs at McDonald's flipping hamburgers or whatever, then we may consider some of those people, but right now, we have got enough money to take care of the ones that are in the pipeline.
Because the calls I'm getting this year, and I don't know about the other counselors, but it's a need for these kids to have that summer job this year. I think a lot of it is going to supplementing home income. It's not, we're trying to save for next year, we're just trying to make it through the summer and help our family. So that's why I was interested in making sure that we could get everybody funded. Thank you. You're welcome.
Counselor Con Watts?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a general question, just about any contract of confidentiality and such. But our budget records are supposed to be open, is what I understood, under the Constitution, not just FOIA and such, for examination. So we're not saying that the actual spending would be, so it's only what the projected contract value is.
Any of the actual terms of the contract, including the total amount within that contract. The budget, what you do on the budget, no, that's not. You don't want to do it.
Okay, very good. Thank you. That's what I needed to understand because I wasn't clear. So thanks for answering questions and raising questions. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Are there any other questions or comments? We had a motion by Counselor Fishinghawk and a second by Counselor Thornton. All those in favor of this budget modification signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Okay, motion carries. Counselor Fishinghawk, would you take the second item on the agenda, please?
Yeah, this is capital mod number 5. It's authorizing the comprehensive capital budget for fiscal year 2014 mod 5. I move for its approval.
Second.
A motion by Counselor Fishinghawk, a second by Counselor Thornton. Is there any discussion on this?
Jody, I'd like for you to address it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there's two budgets on this modification. The first item is Tribal Council House 796, 5300 under capital projects. Modification requesting to remove the $3,450,000 reserved by appropriation and $50,000 building construction authority and replace that with a transfer out of $3,500,000 to health facilities equipment. There's been no spending on this budget at this time, and this will zero out the carryover balance in this accounting unit. Item number 2 is health facilities equipment, 796, 8300, under capital projects. New budget requesting expenditure authorization of $3,500,000 to fund equipment for the clinic and hospital construction and expansion projects. And the funding is provided by transfer in from item number 1.
Okay. Anybody have questions? Yes, Counselor Keener.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Jody, I wish this were true, but it's not. On item number 1, it's $3 billion.
Oh, yes. No wonder I had trouble reading it.
Thank you, Mr. Accountant. Okay, so that's a good thing. I guess, to put it in other terms, we're going to transfer the tribal council house budget over to health. So
Yes.
that's good, because I was wondering where we're going to get the money for all the equipment. And it says on page 1 of 1, your last page, it's going to go to Salisaw, Stillwell, J, and Oshaleta. So I'm not sure how far that will go, but it's a start. Good job, thank you. Thanks, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. Any other questions or comments? Okay, we have a motion and second. All those in favor of this budget modification signify by saying aye. Aye. Is there any opposition? In that case, are there any announcements?
I was gonna ask if anybody wanted to be added as well.
Okay. Would anybody like to be added as a sponsor to the budget modification? Counselor Fulbright?
Mod number 5?
Uh-huh. And Counselor Buzzard and Counselor Kennedy. Does everybody want to be added? Julia, do you have that modification in front of you? Would you like to be added as a sponsor? Is that thumbs up?
Yes.
Okay, yes, Counselor Coates would like to be added also.
Got one finger.
Okay. All right. So with those changes made, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? All those in favor?
One man show.
Meeting's adjourned.
I said, you moved it, seconded it.